Welcome to my top 50 video games of all time series. I'm going to be posting 5 videos with 10 games on each over the next few weeks, so subscribe to see when the next one comes out. Today we'll be going through my numbers 50 to 41. Now, before we begin, let me just say that this is entirely subjective, so feel free to argue with me in the comments, but this is not a list of the best games ever made, just my favorite. Enjoy! Number 50, Dune Spice Wars. This is a real-time grand strategy game that you can play in PvP mode or just against the computer. I've played this with my friends in real time, and I've also treated it like a turn-based strategy game. You assume the role of leader in one of the great houses in the Dune universe, and you battle over Arrakis, the only world that produces spice. You can play as House Atreides, House Harkonnen, the Smugglers, the Fremen, or House Carino, the current Emperor. The best part about this game is the theme. The feeling of leading your own faction to victory is unparalleled. Pick a leader you want to emulate, and take that faction to victory over others. You can be the bad guy and feel good about it, or you can be the Emperor and have power the entire game. There are endless ways to play this game, even if it's just against the computer. If you love Dune, you will love this game. The only thing holding this game back is the difficulty of many grand strategy games, but especially this one. It's difficult to learn and difficult to maintain at a competent level. Once you learn and get into the game, it's incredibly addicting. But if you ever drop the game for a while, it's very difficult to pick back up again. Number 49, Mortal Kombat. The fighting game that captured every kid's heart at some point in their life. This was the first fighting game to take things in such a brutal direction. Every fatality has everyone in the room watching for the entire sequence, yelling, wincing, and cheering on someone getting tossed around. Just for that small moment, you feel that terrible sort of amazing that only comes with beating your friend at a fighting game. Mortal Kombat 11 is the newest in the franchise. It's also the one I've played the most, and my favorite. The best part of this game is how accessible it is to absolutely anyone. I've played this with my most hardcore fighting game friends, and with my non-gamer girlfriend. Nothing is more satisfying than winning or losing a gut-wrenchingly close fight, and either seeing the beaming look of triumph on my friend's face, or better yet, having that look on mine. The single-player functions of this game are very meh. I played through the story, and it was fine, but just not for me. The real reason to get this game is to fight with your friends. Number 48, Hellcard. A very new game still in early access development. This is a deck-building roguelike game with a co-op twist. Most of these deck-building games are single-player or co-op on a two-dimensional plane, attacking 1 or 2 enemies. The difference in this game is that there are swarms of small enemies, with some big enemies, in a circular arena, with you and your teammates in the center. Communication is key to completing a run because the bosses are no joke. I love the deck building part of this game. I really feel like I can curate a new deck that is interesting to me every time I play. There are already 3 different classes to choose from that have very different playstyles. I cannot wait for the release date of this game. The best part about this game is the cooperation with your friend. Not only are you looking for synergies with your own deck, but also with the deck beside you. And it just creates this need to talk to each other about what you're gonna play next and what your deck is like. Number 47, Pummel Party. Pummel Party follows the same formula as the classic Mario Party games. The goal of the game is to get as many trophies as possible. You get them through collecting enough keys to unlock the chests holding them. You get keys through spaces on the boards, winning the between round minigames, or even stealing them from your friends through items. This game will ruin your friendships faster than Monopoly. Specifically targeting one person is encouraged, definitely not for the faint of heart. The best part about this game are the mini games between each round. There are so many to choose from, and you can curate your games to have many games you and your friends like to play. There are luck-based games, skill-based games, a combination, and they cover a wide variety of different genres. The only goal I have when playing Pummel Party, especially when I fall behind on trophies, is to win the most minigames by the end of the game. This is an accomplishment even if you don't win the overarching game. The only difficulty with this game is finding the right group. One wrong person or the wrong mood can ruin the entire experience for everyone. Number 46, Loop Hero. This is one of the most unique games on my list. Yes, it's a roguelike, but that's where the similarities with any other game stop. It's kind of like a reverse tower defense game where you control the difficulty. If you want to have an easier run, you place less monsters on your hero's route. The more monsters you kill though, the more loot you get. So it's a great risk balancing puzzle. You need to fight enough to be ready for the boss, but not so much that when the boss appears, your route is too difficult to get to him. The best part of this game is the gameplay loop. As the title of the game implies, you'll be doing the same thing over and over again. But when your hero just doesn't have enough to take out the boss that you've been working towards, you get the urge to try just one more time, and you won't be as greedy as you were before. That feeling will always have me coming back for more. Even as I went to play to record for this video, I went, oh man, I just want to play one more time. The only problem is that the first 20 minutes or so of the run are pretty easy, so that can feel like a chore. Number 45, Assassin's Creed. This is an RPG game about two warring factions over thousands of years, the Templar and the Brotherhood of Assassins. We play as Desmond, who is a descendant of the Assassins, and he's in a mysterious place in a VR type machine called the Animus. This machine sends him back to view the memories of an assassin by the name of Altair. We play out Altair's memories to unlock the story. Hack and slash combat, stealth mechanics, great mystery storytelling, a big map to explore and unlock. This game has everything that an RPG player could want. The best part of Assassin's Creed is the story. There are two stories that work together. There's the story that Altair lived out and we are experiencing through Desmond, and there is the overarching series story that continues from game to game about the Assassins and the Templar. I looked forward to every cutscene because I knew something big was going to happen. There are two things holding Assassin's Creed back. One, while the overarching story is amazing in my opinion, there are some slow points that can be a drag to get through. Picture one or two bad episodes in your favorite TV show. The second thing, that isn't the worst thing to me, but most people don't like, is that it's very easy. The combat doesn't have too much nuance to it and will feel like a chore a lot of the time. Despite these things, this is still my number 45 and a great game. Although it is my least favorite of the Assassin's Creed games. Number 44, Vampire Survivors. Another roguelike game. Can you tell what my favorite genre is? In this one, you're going to pick a vampire and try to kill as many monsters as possible. When you level up, you get to choose a new weapon, a passive ability, or upgrade a previous selection. As the waves of enemies get killed, newer and stronger enemies will spawn. I bought this game in its early access before it boomed, and the content was limited. Now when you jump in, it has so much content. Its replayability and game loop is incredibly addicting. The best part of this game is the exploration of finding the best combinations of weapons. Each time you find a new synergy, it feels just as good or better than the previous pairing. The reason it falls short of the top 40 is simply because once you feel you're done with the game, there's really no reason to go back. But trust me, it will have you hooked for the first while. Number 43, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. This is a 3D beat-em-up style game, with the playable characters being the cast from Marvel. Everything from obscure characters like Ghost Rider, Spider-Gwen, and Elektra, to your favorite classics like Captain America, Wolverine, and the Hulk. Play by yourself, controlling 4 different characters and switching between them, or with 3 other friends, each of you controlling 1. Together you'll fight through hordes of enemies that come at you. The best part of this game is the IP of Marvel, and playing with your friends. To be able to play your childhood superheroes and team up with your friends to destroy the enemies that you despise is a wonderful feeling. Cooperating with your team to pull off amazing combos and defeat tough bosses gives you a great feeling of satisfaction. You can create your own team of Avengers, X-Men, or Defenders and see which synergies work the best. Despite how much I enjoyed this game, it has a few flaws. Single player, this game is kind of meh. The combat can be very repetitive, as many beat 'em ups are, and the story isn't terribly interesting. Working your way through it with a few friends is definitely the better way to play this game. Number 42, Hollow Knight. This is a very difficult Metroidvania game with puzzles, combat, and platforming. You'll traverse the map with your needle, fight bugs of different shapes and sizes, encounter tough bosses on your way to discovering the land, who you are, and what your purpose is. There is a wonderful, mysterious vibe to this game that has you wanting to know more about this wacky world of bugs. I cannot stress to you enough how much I love the movement in Hollow Knight. The controls are incredibly responsive, which makes the sharp difficulty of the bosses very fair. You know that you only died because you messed up. I will always love tough bosses that require you to learn their patterns and experiment how to beat those patterns. Hollow Knight is in the very best for fair, difficult boss fights. All I've done is tell you how great this game is, so why is it so low on the list? And honestly, the only reason is that I've learned I just do not enjoy Metroidvania games all that much. Hollow Knight is the best of the best in this genre. Number 41, Super Mario 64. The last game on this list, and it's one of the most popular games out there. Super Mario 64 was way ahead of its time, and it still holds up today. I only played this game recently during COVID, and I completely understand the appeal. Mario games need no introduction. However, this was the first 3D version of Mario, and it hit everything right on the head. The wonky controls and glitches are what makes the speedrunning community love the game. It's part of the charm. My favorite part of this game is the feeling of satisfaction when you get the perfect Bowser spin to send him into one of the bombs. The platforming in Mario games is always top tier, and will always have responsive controls. The reason this falls just short of the top 40 is simply because of the graphics. As I mentioned, I'm relatively new to video games, so when I played this, I had already played some of the other 3D Mario games with better graphics. I understand this game came out in the 90s, but the graphics are just outdated, and the camera angles were frustrating at times. Despite all that, I still love this game. It was the trailblazer for its genre and a wonderful way to bring home this list. And there we go. That was number 50 to 41. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stick around because the next 10 are only better. Bye-bye.